And with that song finished, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 37th episode of the HackJack Show. I
Welcome.
am the ever forgetful and genuinely beautiful Hack.
And I am your self-deprecating co-host, Jack.
And a little early episode this week, just the way our timetables are. But this one's gonna be because of the nature of it, a, a lot more casual than it already is. Oh, and by the way, Jack, see
Hmm.
our little rise subscriptions today.
Yeah, I mentioned it to you. I was going to make a, for those of you that have, or were watching the live stream that I was making a couple hours ago. As soon as I went to go make the live stream, all of a sudden I just see that so many more people just subscribed out of nowhere. It was weird.
Yeah, we went from, and I know that, and I can tell the timeline for a good while we're at 15, starting from the beginning of the year. Then we dipped to 14. It looks like someone didn't like us. Then back to 15, and then relatively around this time we got 16, and due to my last night's stream that I had with writer Ishiro Finney and editor Kat Rocha, we shot up to 22. So honestly, it's thanks to them that now their fans and people who recognize them are now subscribed to us. So I appreciate that little I guess side effect for that stream. It was quite a fun stream. I recommend you if you ever get the chance. I know it's a 3 hour stream. You check it out. Although skip the first 45 minutes.
How come?
My guests were late.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, they were late by 45 minutes, and
Well,
I had to stall. I had to stall for time. Be
well,
a charismatic host.
remember. They're the ones that are pretty much the featured are starring the that one live stream. So you're early.
I guess so. I guess so. But but regardless, after they came, it went off really well. Had a good long conversation. So I encourage people to check that out. But now, today's Monday, and Jack, I got some good news.
All right.
I can finally pick up guns on Halo again.
So what was the problem?
From what I understand, which is not much, apparently I had to update my Windows.
Wait. The,
That's what I could find in regarding to people who had this similar problem on the Steam version of the Master Chief Collection.
huh.
I had to do a Windows update, and funny enough, there was an update I had to do. I did that, and then earlier today, I booted up the game, and then now everything's working as intended.
Huh. Weird.
That is very weird. I didn't realize an entire OS system needs to be updated so the E key will function. So yeah, so we're gonna play Halo again in the near future, which we gotta do. We gotta finish that story. We gotta finish that story mode. You know what?
Hmm.
That could be our 50th. That could be our 50th episode where we finish the Halo campaign. At least
Whoa.
45, because we're hitting some milestones, man. We're 13
I
episodes
wanna
to the big 50.
I wanna do that for the 40th
The 40th.
because yeah, because 50th is that's a long wait. You gotta admit.
That's true. That's true. All right, we'll plan it for the 40th, so that I can work with that. But like, actually no buts, no
Oh, I
buts.
got something for you. It's in the sources.
Hit me. What the heck? Oh, here we go. All right, let me show it let me show it on stream, full screen, monitor one. All right, people should see this. Let's go.
Good
Resident Evil 3,
lord.
but
I can't
500%
wait to see the
facial
Magic and Resident Evil 3
animations.
remake. If there be another master for Resident Evil
Please
3,
take us to Resident Evil 3
DB
now.
I wonder what Resident Evil 3 next scenes would look like if it had 500% facial animation.
Here we go. Oh, Beethoven, you know it's fancy. Oh God. Carlos, what? Was it Miguel? I forget what was actual name.
Dr. Bard.
Oh, thank God. Do you know how long I've been trying to reach somebody?
Don't worry, we're gonna get you out of there. Just tell me where you
God,
are.
that's horrifying.
I'm trapped in a goddamn hospital, surrounded by every kind of abomination.
Nikolai, how we doing?
The town's crawling with us.
Oh God.
No chance of fighting our way out of the city.
Oh!
Why is she here?
She's helping get the trains running again.
Oh.
Bad time to start carrying dead weight for her. She's unreliable. Can't pull the trigger when it counts.
Hey, take it easy.
That cleft lip.
She'll get you
Them
killed.
lips.
Mm-hmm. Those little lips, man. Come on, Paul, stop right there. Good Lord. Good Lord. You know that
What?
those should be something in Lovecraft, man. That looks like something should be in Lovecraft. Or you know what? It'll be better. There'll be like a special bonus feature in a game with that particular amount of facial animations.
Hmm.
That should be a thing you could click on the menu screen, just like how Big Head mode back in the day, and just enjoy the show.
By the way, for anyone that wants to watch the full thing, the YouTube channel is DPO23. Or you could just literally type in Resident Evil 500% facial animations.
And and anyone actually knows something, Jack? Today actually been felt pretty productive today, if I'm quite honest.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I have started working on preparing for this Sunday's interview, much similar to yesterday's,
Hmm.
and I finished scripting, recording, and editing a new video that I'll be uploading tomorrow. I was gonna do it today, but I actually wasn't sure if does YouTube allow to upload while you're streaming.
Um, yes, but I would suggest to not do it
I see.
just because you're already uploading something and then you're going to be streaming but technically more uploading.
Ah, I getcha. Oh, yes, I made a good I made a good call. So I'm gonna be posting that tomorrow. Give you a hint. It's about a little hedgehog. A little hedgehog. But don't worry. I'm giving it proper praise. I'm giving it some proper praise that it deserves. At least as far as comics are concerned. Not really the games.
Hmm.
So I worked on that, and I'm getting stuff prepared for Spider Blood episode 3, which this third episode is like non-stop action. What's the story? Spider-Man fights a mecha. There's your story.
Does he have his own spider Zord?
No, this ain't, no, it's not. No, never. It never goes that far. You you know what? That would be the only time when I would think. You know what? Yeah, I can accept that they break in the canon. The only time it's okay to break the canon if there was a mecha involved.
Yeah, give him a mecha, and then after that, tell him he needs to say he is the harbinger of evil or the harbinger of death, whatever he said.
I come from hell. Was it came from hell? I'm the harbinger of death or something.
Something like that.
God, Japanese Spider-Man's weird. You know what's even weirder? You ever heard of manga Spider-Man?
No.
So that oh god, okay, just to share a little bit. Let me get an image reference for the audience here. So manga Spider-Man. So this not Magna
Magna.
manga Spider
Mango. The
Careful,
mango
man.
spider. The mango spider man.
Mango spider. You know, I think that could be a real. Feels like that's a real spider.
There's
Um,
the banana spider.
it's not those really big ones that. Ugh.
Yes.
Ugh.
They live inside the bananas, and if you get the wrong one, they'll bite you with a painful bite.
All right. So right now I'm looking for. Make sure I get the right man. Okay, good. Okay, so this manga series, you want to surprisingly, this is an old series from the 1970s. So even back then, Stanley was like, "Hey, Japan, you want to use our characters? Go on ahead." As far as back in the 70s. Perfect. Here's a good piece of art to show. Na, 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 na. All right, and save image as. So while I'm doing this, what this is about, it is absolutely nothing like the story of Spider-Man. It's completely different.
Mm.
It's Spider-Man in name only. So let me post here on the Discord. Da-da-da-da. Here we go. Open. Upload. There you go. It's on Discord, and so our audience can see it as well. So to give you an idea what this manga is, it starts out kind of like your typical superhero comic, and then it gets downright depressing. And then you start seeing less and less of actual Spider-Man. So, but I can't do injustice. I gotta find that freaking wiki article because there's so many things mentioned in that article. That's here we go. So, okay, so instead of Peter Parker, you got Yu Komori
Yeah.
as his name. A bright and intellectually gifted yet outcast withdrawn teen is bitten by a radioactive spider during a scientific demonstration, which gives him spider-like abilities. So far, so good. He faces Japanese versions of villains such as Electro, the Lizard, Mysterio, and the Kangaroo. Who the heck's the Kangaroo? Oh my god, so he's an actual villain. There's an actual villain called the Kangaroo.
I would not doubt it.
The heck? That's menacing. Any case. So here we go. The first few stories feature analogs to serial Spider-Man's villain supporting cast while maintaining an altogether darker, grittier, and moodier tone and atmosphere. Compared to the original Spider-Man comics, the later Hidarin stories, who was the let's see the next writer to take over after the original. The stories deviated further from the source material, being more tonally mature and adult-oriented, violent, while including obscene content such as profanity, sexual and gruesome imagery of a kind not seen in the original U.S. Spider-Man comics. The later stories were less comedy, were more dramatic, and had more realistic arc, reflecting the creator's later style. So, to give you an idea, one of the things that unfortunately I know about is that I could be wrong about this. So take this with a grain of salt. After our hero, our what's his name again? Yukamori.
Mm.
I think he. I think he either gets rejected. I believe he gets rejected by a girl, or he gets saved by a girl he likes by a group of bullies.
Mm.
And when he went on to go home,
Mm.
the the the, the manga literally then showed him proceeding to masturbate while thinking of that girl. And I'm not talking about like oh clever imagery implying that. No, they fool him. We see him pants down doing it. So yeah, if Peter thought he had a hard life, no manga Spider-Man. No, that's a guy with a real terrible life. Because,
Sounds like
like I said, eventually he just stopped being like you started seeing less of Spider-Man. It's really started to become its own thing.
huh.
And
Sounds interesting. Oh, well, I mean, just to see how it goes. Would
yeah,
you?
and as for quality of the books, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know what like the actual quality of them are, besides just kind of the shocking things I've heard about it.
Well, you can. Can't you just like see a rating for it? People usually rate these.
Not as old as books, not as old book as such as this. No, no, no. Old books such as this, not really. And at most are probably just referenced, but not really like, hey, let's talk about it. That's like, here's my review of this book. And besides, most of those reviews are probably going to be Japanese anyways, and I don't know what they're going to say. And I'm not going to trust Google Translate to translate it for me.
Well, that's just being a quitter.
Then I guess for this particular moment, for this particular situation, I'm a quitter.
You're always a quitter.
Then I guess the hear when I relate when I go home, won't put my pants down. And I think he was actually crying in that scene too.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta let it all out,
You know,
both emotionally and physically.
it reminds me of a John Strong quote. He once said, and I never forgotten. He said, he said, uh, yeah, remember the time P. Hearn was caught in a porno theater? Oh man, like I was so sad. He had to make his dick cry. I swear, as much as many memes there are John Tron, he has some like good jokes that get overlooked. I swear. Which, by the way, did you see his video on the Goop Lab?
I have not seen any of his newest videos. They just never pop up in my recommendations, and that he still does YouTube
Oh god dang!
because YouTube algorithm be like that.
Huh, it's been working for me. Did you remember to ring the bell?
Well, here's YouTube goes with whatever you see the most.
Ah, I see. I guess that kind of explains it then.
Yeah,
So then what was the last recent John Tron video you saw?
I don't remember.
Did you see the original Goop one?
I probably just rewatched the Halloween specials.
They are pretty fun, especially the turducken.
Oh no, not the turducken.
Oh man. Let's see, I was looking at let's see. This one to make let's see. So okay, I just want to mention this. My favorite it just was out of nowhere ideas or videos was
Hmm.
his architecture tier list video where he was ranking actual like actual real life buildings in a tier list. and and just and eventually like halfway to the video he then realized, all right, we're just speeding through this. I'm speeding through this. It's started like he's literally starting to care less about the video halfway in because he's running out of time. And the surviving edge weapons, that one's pretty funny too. Be careful of edge weapons. You know what's a potential edge weapon?
What?
The edge of a table. A butter knife. A sharp spoon. Dogs.
You know, I understand the sharp spoon a little bit because have you ever had a sharp spoon?
Thankfully, no. I never had a
So
sharp
you
spoon.
so you never accidentally had a spoon go into the garbage disposal, took it out, and then one day you kind of forgot that it was in the garbage disposal. I think like what happened was it went to the garbage disposal, I fished it out, or someone fished it out. I don't know who. Someone fished it out whenever it was cleaned and used. It pretty much I could feel the little nicks of the blade of the garbage disposal hit the spoon. Kind of tore up my mouth with it.
Just like that scene where I saw John eating Legos as cereal. Oh man. Any case, dang. You know what's funny? The only things that like kind of worth mentioning on my neck of the woods is just more incompetence from the comic industry. But like after the first time you hear it, you're like, okay, um, it's like okay, anything else is different. Our comic pros still like, it's fine, everything's fine. We'll go back to normal. It's fine, it's fine, it's not fine.
Right now, people in the my side, at least the ones that I'm keeping up, PSO2 is now coming out for P in the next month. So,
For PC, you said?
yep.
Oh,
So the wait has finally been like it's finally over in a sense.
the wait is finally over. You can finally pay PS. I was gonna say PS2, PSO2, Fantasy Star Online 2, in the best way possible. It's been after 10 long years.
Well, I was able to play it the best way possible until they IP banned me,
With proper English.
and and just for some people that don't know, they I did not do anything as egregious to make them a IP. They just didn't want any Americans playing on the Japanese server.
You filthy gaijin. Filthy, filthy gaijin. How dare you invade Asian servers? just because you're the eyes of one doesn't mean you are one. When
At
you
least I
learn.
can. At least I'll be able to understand 100% of the story and not just 50% of it, where it's like subtitled in some parts and then you go somewhere else, like within that same area, and it's not even subtitled at all. So you're like, what's happening here?
By the way, is that game like is that an I try to look at it. Is that like a just a regular MMO or is that a monster hunting game? What is it?
It is a MMO where it's like a purely dungeons. I wouldn't say dungeon crawler because the it doesn't have the exact fit for a dungeon crawler, but it's a, with free-based tiles of said dungeon spots. You go through as missions, and then after that, you get better gear.
Okay, because every time I look at it, it's like I get Monster Hunter vibes, but I know for sure it's nothing like Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it's nothing like it.
What's, man, I make
It's a fun
I
game.
make remember obscure PS Vita, PS4 game that's like a Monster Hunter clone, which actually was good, but of course it's only popular in Japan, and the few games they brought over didn't really sell that well. I forgot what it was
Yeah.
called. Was it called God Eater? I think it was God Eater. Was it God Eater? Well, who cares?
Oh, so right now, people have been really liking that Valorant game. I've been enjoying it, and there's been a lot of memes in the Riot community where it's like killing Fortnite and CS:GO. I don't think it's gonna really kill it. Kill it. I think it's just gonna slow down the audience a bit.
Yeah, I mean, remember when Apex Legends was gonna be the Fortnite killer?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it could have been if it actually updated at a decent pace.
No, but you know what's the real Fortnite killer?
The 10-year-olds that play it.
No, no, no. It is pretty much um, making your little siblings realize that what they're playing is not gonna reward them with much.
The game really, really annoys me after. Like, it was fun during season one, pretty much when the game was new, because people. They built stuff. They did build stuff, but they built it just so what was necessary in a way for me to say. They built what was necessary. Now, the literal meme of what these current seasons, it's a literal, like, it's a meme, but it's true. You shoot someone once, maybe in the foot, and they turn into a skyscraper. It's like built all the way to the top already, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna leave you alone. You can keep building by yourself and keep thinking that you're being attacked, but I'm just leaving. Like, I've done that so many times in the game before, where I shoot someone, they start building up into a massive fort, and they keep building. They don't stop. They just keep building, and you're like, is this gonna end? No. All right, I'm gonna leave. And they're still building while you're leaving.
Jeez.
And then once when you stop, like if you, they'll if once when they realize they just their resources and they're destroying more trees and rocks and stuff. I'm just gone. Like, that's boring. It's a boring game to me.
At that point, might as well just play Minecraft. At least you get to build. Well, but that's the point of the game.
Well, the thing with Minecraft when it comes to PvP, you don't have people right in front of each other. They actually fight. That's the funny thing.
Unless you have arrows, but even then, that's kind of
People will still run up at you anyways.
yeah. We gotta gotta do that suicide bomber tactic. By the way, I want to share with you. So one of the stories I had to read for yesterday's interview. It's a short story I read, and let me just describe this to you. All right. So it's a Cthulhu story, right?
Hmm.
Now add in a now add in a clown
Hmm.
and tons of inbred children. Here,
Okay.
here's how I'm going with this. So this this story, which is called "Death Has a Grease Paint," what it is that this guy who's a professional clown. When he was younger, he made all these trips to like some Asian countries where he just did all the crazy things that you can think, all the crazy vices you can think of,
Hmm.
and that's how he got to know of the old ones. He comes back to America and decides to become a clown on some TV studio in the middle of nowhere, Michigan, I believe.
Hmm.
And he has his hat, and he does this thing where, kid you not, he runs a children's program, and every time he asks the kids, "Hey kids, who wants to see the Octopus King?" And they're like, "We do, we do, we do." And then he asks them, "But we gotta sing the octopus song." And then it's like, I'm reading, I'm like, okay, what's this octopus song? It's like the Octopus King, okay? Because at this point, I haven't seen any Cthulhu stuff yet. But then he actually starts singing the song, and literally, the clown is making children chant the name of Cthulhu in order to summon him.
Huh.
And he's making all these children chant his name, in the actual like Eldritch tongue, the Cthulhu flagon, and all that. And and from what the story established, he's been doing it for a while. But every time it happens, the kids just get more rowdier and rowdier and rowdier. Both of them who are in the audience of the production and the kids watching at home. And in this story, he finally was going to do his big, last performance
Mhm.
where he was gonna summon Cthulhu. And so in this little children's program, the clown literally kills himself on TV, and from what is described, like literally all his intestines and guts just float out of him into the children. And the kids are like, they're so hyped up and probably possessed maybe, that they don't even care. They're just excited to see the Octopus King.
Huh.
And as the story is finishing, we follow one of the other characters who's part of the story witnessing all of this, and pretty much he's so inebriated and so tired of his dead end job that he's like, you know what? The clown. I hate the clown. He killed himself. Good riddance. Then as he's heading home, he would hear the clown in his head
Mhm.
as it was talking to him. He's like, no, go away. Just leave me alone. Go away. Then the clown says his final goodbyes, and then all of a sudden, um, 24,000 people died.
Huh.
That's the end of that story.
Kind of
Uh,
reminds me of how. So I was reading the Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury just to kind of like get back into reading and stuff. And I just wanted to finish the book. I'm almost done with it, by the way. I just stopped reading for. I'm almost done with it, and I just forgot that how this is such a this man has such a weird imagination to
well,
make
share
this
with
book.
me. Share with me.
So the book itself, Martian Chronicles, is a set of, I would say, not initially diaries, but they're set timelines. Like it's a set timeline where each chapter tells you the month and the year it's talking about, or they're in. The beginning of the book, you're introduced to pretty much the Martians, like the actual Martians, how they look like, and what they do in their lives. Apparently, they had this big war, but or like this big disaster, and right now they're not doing so well. In this one, the two Martians you're talking or you're seeing interact is like a wife and a husband, and both of them, at least the wife starts talking about how she keeps having this dream where she sees like a metal object fall down from the sky, and it's a guy that says his name is Nathaniel, and he comes from Earth and all that stuff. The pretty much the husband calls says that you're just dreaming. These are some wild dreams. Next, you're gonna say that his hair was black. Like, yeah, his hair was black. Like, how'd you know? Like, I was thinking of a very crazy color because apparently to them black is crazy. And throughout the whole thing, after like in the second page, not the second page, but the second chapter, very much just as she said, a actual flying object comes down, hits the ground. The guy comes out, but he wasn't greeted with the wife. He was greeted by the husband. And here's how the husband knew where he was at. So the husband kind of felt jealous of what the how the wife was feeling, because every time when the wife talks about this dream, she feels very happier, like happy and happier than her own current relationship, to where she doesn't even want to do anything with her husband anymore. The husband felt jealous, kept trying prodding for more information. She told him where they were landing, thinking it was just a dream, and he pretty much tells her, "You wait in the house. I'm gonna go hunting." So pretty much, he went out there at the same spot that the guy was at, ready to kill him. Kills the astronauts, and they're just dead. The wife was pretty much saddened by the whole thing because she heard the shots ringing out because they were so close by, and she was like, "What happened? Where were you at? Like I heard shots. Like don't worry about it. I was hunting." And pretty much that's how the that chapter ends, or that part of the timeline ends. That's the first expedition. The second expedition went to went to Mars because they were trying to find out what happened to the first expedition, and they just wanted to see how the Martians are interacting with each other. They go into a city, and of course, being astronauts, and they've gone through a whole journey of going through Earth and they're tired, and they just want to be celebrated. First of all, you're seeing other life forms. Second of all, they traveled across a whole hundreds, thousands of, and they go up to the people and they're like, "Hey guys, we're from Earth. We need help. Like, so can we do a celebration because we're from Earth? I mean, it's a big thing for both of us." People kept passing them along. They just didn't care. Like, you're from Earth. Okay, go to this guy. Go to this guy. All the way at the very end of their journey. Okay, we're tired. Hi, we were sent here by this person, and that sent us by this person, and all that stuff. We're from Earth. We just really want a handshake. This is all I'm asking now. We just want a hand, something to say, good job. So the guy in the reception desk, they're like, "Oh, okay, we'll go to that room. Just wait there for a bit." They go to the and then they say that of course they meet the people. They're like, "Hi, we're from Earth." Then this big giant celebration erupts, and they're like, "Yeah, this is what we're talking about. This is what we wanted." Finally, some people get it. Some people understand until they realize they were in an asylum, in an insane asylum. People thought that they were crazy. So the warden of what assume or psychiatrist, whatever, however you want to say, he was pretty much explaining, "Oh yeah, yeah, I don't think your your team is insane. I think you are insane." He's like, "What do you mean by that?" "Well, obviously these people are just manifestations of your own mental abilities because apparently Martians they can manifest things with their mind, like actually make something visible or taste something different, anything like that. They can pretty much mental telepathy and stuff like that affect your sixth sense." The guy was like, "Okay, we can prove our innocence. Let's go to the rocket." Like, "Oh, okay, let's go to the rocket." The psychiatrist goes to the rocket. They're all there. He looks at the rocket, feels the rocket. He even tasted the rocket. He's like, "Wow, man, you are really insane. I gotta hand it to you. I congratulate you for that. Well, it seems like there's no cure for you." So he shoots the guy, shoots the main commander of the whole squadron of astronauts. And he's like, "All right, oh, okay, so y'all are still lingering a little bit. It's just the mental telepathy still lingering." Then the other guys are like, "What the hell? Why did you kill him? What is wrong with you?" Right there, the psychiatrist goes a little crazy, thinking, no, 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 I didn't kill anyone. He was insane. He can't be telling the truth. So he shoots another astronaut, and then he shoots another. He's like, pretty much till where all of them are dead, and he's like, this can't be happening. None of this is supposed to be real. They were insane. I became. That's it. Their their insanity went into me, and he kills himself. And then the people saw the rocket and they just dismantled it, sold it for parts. Then there was a third expedition. This one was a little weird. Pretty much, this was like 2 years after, where all the Martians somehow suddenly died. They were just extinct. Either that, or they were a few around. Not exactly that many left. But I can go on with this whole thing, but I'm just gonna leave it off there because those two expeditions were very wild, and it just gets weirder the more you go down.
Is I just found that second story quite ironic. Oh, the irony.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not crazy. You're making me crazy, so I will shoot you, like any sane person would do.
Well, they just never believe. They literally said in the first, there's no way people live on that third planet on Earth because there's too much
What do the Martians actually look like? Like, are they actually look just human? Are they actually like human looking, or do they look very alien? How does the
So
book describe them?
they are not as tall as people to where they thought that 6 feet was grotesque and in well, not grotesque, but like something that can never be achieved, like 6 foot high. So they must be a little bit short, maybe around the average of 5'5" for a male. Who knows? But I'm just guessing. Uh, brown, like very dark brown, very dark brown, like actual brown. Not they called the human skin pink color, but yeah, they're brown. Like remember the show? Like here's how I pictured their color of the skin. Remember how when Patrick and SpongeBob got into this whole in one episode,
Into what episode?
like tanning, self tanning.
No, I don't. I'm not familiar with that one.
Well, have you seen the extreme cases of tanning
Yes.
like that?
Ah, okay, I
That's how
see.
I pictured it with the leathery skin. They had golden eye, like the irises were golden, like
What?
actual gold color.
Whoa.
And if I'm correct, they had yellow hair, not blonde hair, but yellow hair. But other than that, it didn't describe anything else other than them being slender.
Huh. Huh. Now I'm starting to question where Bradbury got the idea for that story. Because it feels like something that, quite honestly, it feels like something like that probably would have happened back when, like, bef- during the times when there was voyages into the new world and we're seeing as a new entire side of the earth for the first time.
Well, apparently this all takes place in the decade of 2030.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, and
Hmm.
just to say it, the guy really does talk a lot about. And if you ever read for Fahrenheit 451, he does talk about. Well, that's like what made the main character in 451 do what he. And in this one, uh, he has his own ideas or something like that of like what of religion itself. To where like in the third expedition, if I'm just gonna go ahead and pretty much one of the guys and the one of the astronauts, they're architect. They were like an architect. Archaeology. They wanted to see all the things that the Martians and he wanted people to appreciate it and not destroy it. And he goes into this whole monologue with the captain saying like, "Oh, well, look at how the Martians are. They pretty much they never fought over religion. They never fought over science. They knew how to mix both science and religion. There was no both science and religion never fought each other. They went hand in hand together. So it just kind of like he started going into this weird monologue about that.
Hmm. Funny enough. The only time I've ever seen that put into fiction was when the world of Krypton was expanded upon. And I remember in one Superman comic, Clark he he was telling his Earth dad, Jonathan Kent, that the Kryptonians worship science like a religion.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was very funny though that in Superman's homeworld, that as much as uh, they have developed science to such hot advanced degrees,
Mm-hmm.
that there was still a Kryptonian religion that
Mm-hmm.
even a Superman's kind of adopted, or at the very least, whatever higher being he envisions, it's the
Mm-hmm.
Kryptonian god.
Yeah.
So I wonder if one of those Superman writers got that from this story.
Who knows? But like it was just the third expedition. I think is like probably the most because it just kind of like it kind of does give kind of make you think a little bit. It doesn't make you think about like saying that religion is wrong or science is wrong. It just makes you think about philosophy.
It poses a question, pretty
It
much.
does, and I wouldn't say it's like so inside, like so deep that it could make Socrates cry or things like that. It's a question that you kind of think.
That is a question for the question.
Then like there's
Gosh,
also
we
an
need to need more
instance
question
where
topics.
you had another expedition. This was when they were already the Earthlings were pretty much colonizing Mars. They were now terraforming it by planting trees and grass, making things like livable somehow.
You know what would be funny?
Hmm.
I'll be laughing if the new creators of Doom made that book the unofficial prequel to the 2016 game.
That would be weird
It will be it
because
will be weird. It definitely will be weird. But my thought just came to that.
like it gets like it just gets so confusing sometimes. The book it's there's a moment where a motorcyclist, he's driving down the Mars road and he sees a Martian driving down in his weird vehicle, and they talk to each other. They're like, "Okay, we're friendly. Okay, good." And the guy was wanting to share his food or share a drink. The Martian tries to take the cup and couldn't pick it up. It just phased right through. And then so the Martian tries to be like, "Wait, let me see your knife." Tries to take the knife. The guy's like, "Hey, he's like, no, don't worry, I'm not gonna do anything to you." Phases right through, like, and then they both pretty much like phase through each other, and they're having this whole no, you're the past, and I'm the future. Like, no, you're the past, and I'm the future. Because somehow, in some weird time thing happened there, where they could see each other, but they can't interact. Because the Martian's like, well, there's this happening right behind you. Can't you see that? And then the guy's like, no, there's Martian ruins over there. There's nothing there. I don't see anything. You're the past.
Timelines intertwingle, but the past cannot interact with the future.
And then like
Oh.
the with the whole expedition, the guy talking philosophy with his captain. Oh wait, by the way, that one was a very interesting one in the sense of like, uh, actually, I want to save that for later in case if it does pop up. But here's about this one. This one was where these bishops, or I forgot what they're called specifically, they went to Mars to pretty much spread the word of God. I'm not sure. You can put your own twist of what, but yeah, of God. And the pretty much they one of the bishops was saying to the, we need to talk to the Martians. Like, why do we need to do that? We have our own people. Like, yes, but isn't it good? Isn't it better for all of us to spread it to? So the guy they find some spot where people were saying that there was Martians supposedly. They go there, and then the Martians pretty much in this like this part of the timeline pretty much they are completely different from what they were in the beginning of the book. The Martians now are pretty much an ethereal ball of light. That's all they are. A ball of light.
Side note.
Hmm.
Why is it I've seen it in Futurama and in Star Trek?
Hmm.
Why is it that for any organism that the end of their evolution is simply just a ball of energy?
I mean, I think it goes hand in hand talking point of like religion where people think of themselves after a while that once when they become enlightened they become something touched and pure. What's more pure than just light? And
Hey,
that's literally what happens in this book where the guy the Martian is like, we are now we stepped away from our, we've learned how to we learned how to step away from our physical bodies and enter a more spiritual or ethereal type of vessel where we don't have to hold on to a carnal vessel or something like that.
so are you saying that they are forsaking their humanity, Jojo?
I mean, and this one, it's more like they're becoming better than humanity because, like, pretty much these Martians, whenever they interacted with the okay, this is where it gets a little wrong in the sense of like what the bishops did because one of the bishops was they when they were trying to talk to the balls of light, they both fell into the some kind of cliff or trench, but they were saved by this ball of light. The ball of light, they're like they look like balls of fire, pretty much. And one of them was like, "These things are sentient. They understand that we could have died." The other one's like, "No, they don't. They just did it maybe because we were in the way. We got lucky." So one of them's like, "Oh yeah, fine. Well, here, I'm gonna test this out." Well, he shoots the gun. He shoots a gun like to his arm or somewhere, and the bullet was blocked because one of the Martian light ball things stopped it. Like, see, like no, I still don't believe it. So the guy's like, you know what? I'm gonna test it even further. Then he literally, this bishop literally says, I'm gonna jump off this cliff. Well, not literally says it, but he's gonna he that's what he was gonna do. Jumped off the cliff. The other bishop's like, "You fool! Why'd you do that?" And then was looking down. Guy was picked up by the ball of light and put back down safely.
His faith was rewarded.
But yeah, it gets it's weird.
Well, once you're done with that Martian book, I have another Martian book I can recommend. It's less weird and more of just an adventure if you're interested.
Okay.
I I would recommend then after you finish reading Martian Chronicles, if you're still on your kind of like sci-fi kick, I would
Hmm.
recommend then reading The Princess of Mars.
Princess of Mars. Okay.
hmm And to give you an idea, pretty much
Hmm.
it's an hold on, let me get the exact year because I always mess up how old the story is.
Hmm.
Mars. Okay, so it's a story that's literally hundreds of years old. Came out in 1912,
Hmm.
and it's pretty much one of the foundations of sci-fi. Like literally every piece of science fiction art has
Hmm.
one way or another borrowed elements from this book. We're talking like this is a the bedrock of the genre.
Hmm.
And The Princess of Mars, it's about this. It's about it. It takes place, I'll say, slightly after the end of the American Civil War, and
Hmm.
you follow uh and you follow an ex-Confederate soldier named John Carter.
Hmm.
And going off just by memory, because it's been a while since I read it. One day, John Carter, while he's trying to get away from some Indians that are trying to kill him,
Hmm.
he hides in a cave and then starts to fall asleep, in which this strange phenomenon happens, in which he experienced that phenomenon being that he would wake up and he would see his old body right in front of him while he's in a new body.
Oh.
So, he, for one reason or another, he's been gifted or cursed, depending on how you view it, the essentially eternal life, in a way,
Hmm.
where he's forever a man in his prime. And this time, and this time, while he was sleeping inside a cave in Arizona, I believe, he wakes up in a random cave on Mars. And there's no explanation. He just wakes up on Mars.
Hmm.
And thus begins his big adventure in which he grows accustomed to the Martian people, which are actually it's which there actually are two kinds of Martians. So there's the green Martians, in which they're actual like alien-looking beings. If I
Hmm.
recall how the book describes them, they're much taller, have four arms, if I'm correct, and have greenish skin.
Hmm.
And they're the more essentially barbaric race on Mars.
Hmm.
And so John Carter joined us with them, just trying to get his bearings, figure out where he is, and get used to this new culture. Funny enough, though, the whole telepathy thing, that's
Hmm.
actually that's actually how the Martians on Mars communicate. They don't actually talk via their lungs or voice.
Hmm.
Everything's done through mental communication. And so because of that, John Carter was able to get the hang of it. And I also like how he describes that upon trying to learn his language, it was so rudimentary that he was able to pick it up quite quickly.
Huh.
Yeah, and so as it goes on, you then go to kind of the real plot of the story, where he meets, as the title suggests, a princess, and she's a princess of the red Martians. Her
Hmm.
name is Deja Thoris, and I recommend looking at some images of her. A lot of artists love to draw her if you catch my drift.
Oh, okay.
And through her, he then starts his whole adventure of trying to return her to her home, in which the red Martians are the actually like advanced beings on the planet.
Hmm.
And that's all. That's all for say for now, because after that, a lot of fun stuff: sword fights, giant monsters, carriage chases, the whole shebang.
Is that what the from the movie? Like, wasn't there a movie about that?
Yep, Disney made a movie. It was called John Carter. It's I'll say this: if you care nothing of the book or all the source material, it's a decent movie. You can just put on the background. If you actually care about the source material, it will frustrate you. It's one of those movies.
Ah, I gotcha.
Yeah,
Because I already saw the movie.
yeah. Let's say one of the big things that the way the characters are portrayed in the film and in the novel,
Hmm.
very different. Very different.
I would assume so.
Yeah, and I guess the best in the way they can describe Princess of Mars, without really going into any plot details, is that because it's a very old school novel, that wasn't even like that wasn't even like a proper like novella. Like literally, it was written. If I'm correct, yeah, it was literally written for like a pulp magazine in which you can just buy those stories for like a few cents. There's literally
Hmm.
like the cheap books you can buy during the day.
Hmm.
It wasn't really focused on any big sci-fi concepts. It was just like, hey, we're in an alien world. Let's do crazy stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's more in the veins of that if you want more an adventure book, but not really if you're looking for deep science fiction logic and big ideas.
Well, it does sound fun. I didn't see the movie. I kind of enjoyed it, but that was a long time ago when I saw it.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I was gonna watch it on Netflix. Then I looked at some people who saw the movie and read the book. I was like, oh, this like it wasn't like little changes. It was like literally big changes, especially in characterization and how some certain scenes portrayed. Like there was a scene where John Carter gets in a gladiator fight, right?
Hmm.
In the movie, it's portrayed that him, and the princess Adeja Thoris were in the fight, but in the novel, it was just Carter himself.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they did some weird changes. Although, fun fact about that movie,
Mm.
if I remember correctly, because in the book, when they described Adeja Thoris in the book, um, literally, like she's literally like either almost or completely naked all the time. and
Oh.
s- and of course, being a Disney movie, they kind of had to cover that up. And the actress who played her, she was disappointed because she thought she was actually going to like look like DJ Thor. She thought she was gonna like have that nice like exotic princess getup. No, you get to show that off the navel. That's about it. She's just like, oh, the actress was disappointed. Makes sense. She's European, and I know those European writers. They especially don't have no problems with nudity, but they do have problems with violence, just like Japan. Ain't that
I
weird?
mean, yeah, it's a bit weird. I'm not sure why. Well, at least when it's new, people they portray it as beautiful.
You can show up all the fun bags in Europe and Japan, but decapitation, that's a step too far. And over here is the opposite. It's a funny thought. It's the double standard, Bobby. Don't knock it. We got the short end of the stick on that one. Oh, speaking of King of the Hill, I don't know if you came across this. Um, okay. Okay, it's possible you
Mm.
might have seen it. This because we usually tend to watch the same videos. Did you come across a a rap, a rap song in which the rapper made a song while rapping in the voices of certain King of the Hill characters.
No.
So you have not heard the sensation sweeping YouTube, taste the meat, not the heat.
No.
Oh, I gotta show you just a little bit of it, just a little bit of it. I showed Ghetto Machine, I think about a week ago, and to quote what he said, to quote what he said. I didn't get these words verbatim because it was just his funniest response.
Mm.
There you go. Do 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 do. Give me a second to look it up. Shouldn't take that long. And there we go. So here, in response, he says to me, "I'd never see that, and I feel like my life has been severely improved.
Hmm.
So I need you to see it too. Uh,
All right.
taste the meat, not the heat." Boo. Here we go. And it
Keep
just
talking like that. You're gonna
just
taste the meat.
and has a great thumbnail too. It's funny.
So is that? Imagine if that's Hank's dirty talk. Keep talking like that, Peggy. You're gonna taste the meat and the heat.
Whoa. I tell you what.
I tell you what.
Alright, so I'll share you Discord and I'll show the audience just a little bit of it. Just a little bit of it. Want them to look it up themselves.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yep.
No, sorry. I was watching a Twitter video. Let me see.
And by the way, the song starts strong. It really does start strong. So let me show the audience real quick. Just a few seconds of the song. Here we go.
Taste the meat and not the meat. Yes, taste the heat and not the meat. Taste the meat and not the heat. Taste the heat and not the.
I killed 50 men. You got me rapping like 50 men. My wife a stripping man. All in boy pimping, you know I can. Time for me to switch up the flow so I can tell you all about my life. I'm gonna be grabbing that booty, but you know I ain't gonna be touching Hank's wife. Losing my shins in a row, you want war, I'ma take you to the mountaintop. Pull out my AK and pulling the trigger, you know that your body gon' drop.
Okay. I'll stop there. Oh. And Jack?
What the hell was that freaking thing on this video? Why was he watching that? South Park?
It's like Jack's middle watching it. So, as I was watching it, I would say check it out. I think it's fun, all hilarious.
I
It's on
don't
the
like
channel Akeem Lawinson. His song is called "King of the Hill." Taste the meat, not the heat.
it. Oh, here. I want to show you something. Not sure if you'll understand this, but let's see if you do.
All right, test me. I am not knowledgeable about stuff. Wait a minute. Okay, it's Animal Crossing. Wait, hold on. So I got a few. This shows me two. Wait a minute. Hold on. Jumpsuits. Is this a holes reference?
Yes.
Okay. It is a hole. Yes. I am cultural. That movie was weird, man. Well, let's not say. You know what?
The
Not weird.
radishes. Wait, sorry. What about you? Don't like the whole onion?
To
Where they
be
talk?
to be honest, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, and when I did watch it as a kid, I just I never got it. Maybe if I watch it now, I'll be like, "Oh my god, so obvious what it's about." But as a kid, and I saw that, I'm like, "So what's with the shoes? Why are they digging holes?" I guess I wasn't paying attention enough, but it's just the movie feels like a fever dream to me.
It was pretty much them trying to find treasure.
Yeah, like later, yeah, I get that now, but like at that moment when I watched it, and I think when I read a little bit of the original book,
Hmm.
I don't know, it's just the move that story just feels surreal.
Yeah.
Maybe just the way it was directed, but I don't know. That's to me, that's a very like surreal kids movie, which is funny because it's kind of straightforward when you really think about it. I guess I was just a dumb kid.
Yeah, you were pretty dumb.
Hey man, kids are allowed to be dumb. That's how they start off, anyways.
Not Ling Ling.
But-
Ling Ling plays violin 40 hours. Already doctor. You need
uh,
to play 40 hours a day.
why you disappointment?
Why are you not blood type A? Why are you blood type B positive?
So well, Lucky isn't about blood type O.
Oh my god, blood type 0? What is wrong with you?
Oh, I know you talk. Okay, I know what you're referring to, but I forgot what like the actual videos that's from.
So it's two set violin.
Oh,
That's the channel name.
okay. I think okay. I vaguely know them, but it's starting to come back to me. It's starting to come back. That's a big.
Gotta have that 40 hours a day practice.
Yep.
Practice 40 hours a day.
Yep. Still though, oh, 40 hours a day. That's a long day. God dang. That's a long day.
If you're good, you can do it.
I guess just give me plenty of coca. Just give me plenty of coca.
You want that cocaine. He's a drug user.
I'm not a drug user. I'm a drug abuser.
You're like, man, shut up.
And speaking of drug abusers, so my friend Smaxo, he's showing me a link to a soundboard website, and it has one of Macho Man.
Ooh.
Now, I think the only problem is, I think people on the stream will hear it, but I don't think you'll be able to hear it. I don't think so. So let me just attempt. So let's see. What's a good one? Um. Okay, here we go. Let's try this. Tell me if you can hear it.
Wow, man, freaked out!
Were you able to hear it?
No.
Okay, I figured that was the case. Well, and actually, did the audience hear it? Well, I'll never know. I could check, but I'm too lazy right now. I'll just send you the link because I think that's one thing. If I could, like, if this, like, let's say we were like a real big professional show, I would so have my own soundboard, man. You wouldn't know. Just pull it full of ridiculous things. Oh boy. So as I went back to Discord, Jack sent me a TikTok. It's about Spider-Man, so let's see. All right, let's see what this is.
How is my man supposed to schmeat his meat with this shit, bro? What the fuck?
The kid asking the big questions. And wait, how do they call it? Sweet his meat? That's I never heard of that. Oh wait, he sends me another. No, he sends me a Twitter video this time. Okay, let's see what this is. DBZ Fighters. This should be good.
Deep, but like that, I'm not like that.
Tell me you're joking. You actually thought that would be enough to defeat me? I may not look like much, but I've seen a lot, so you better not underestimate me.
Is this the limit of your power?
Yeah.
I'm not impressed in the slightest.
But you're not gonna murder me, are you?
Pathetic.
Is this the limit of your power? Yeah. With such enthusiasm.
Yeah. Oh. Luckily, the video cleared up right before I missed like the important info on the top. What was supposed to be the point of the video? What if the game was a correct wordness to the anime? Freaking, that were the case, only like 2 or 3 fighters will be viable in that game.
Pretty much.
But then you know what? But then all those super diehard power level fans, it'll make them happy while the rest of us suffer. All right, here's the Macho Man soundboard to put it through the Discord. Oh yeah! Can't see where Macho Man is coming from.
Let's see.
Me, we gotta exit this out, exit that out.
Nice.
Well, I can hear. Wait, I can hear it from your end. It's kind of muffled, but
That is impossible. I have headphones on.
nothing's impossible. Nothing.
Also, I can't watch it or I can't listen to it because it doesn't like my ad blocker.
Oh no. Oh no.
And
All
I
that.
refuse to use it. If it hasn't noticed like that, I refuse. You disappoint me, Macho Man.
You know what's more disappointing about that site? So it has other soundboards of other things. It has Resident Evil, and I'm like, oh, it's gotta have like, so the original game, and Jack, I'm severely disappointed. Severely disappointed. Why?
Why?
It doesn't have the Jill sandwich. That was the one thing I wanted to see. I wanted my Jill sandwich button, and it wasn't there. And there wasn't even a master of unlocking. Pathetic. Pathetic. But at least you get one. At least you get one of them that I thought that I always found funny.
I like this.
Oh, Barry.
I hope this is a true article because I want to look it up. It's just a screen that says, "Should gamers be accountable for in-game war crimes?"
Oh, yeah, that's a real article, man.
Oh my god.
Who was it? Is it from The Guardian, I think?
Why is that? Why?
Hold on. Let me find it. I want to go through it. I saw it Literature Devil talk about it this morning. I couldn't believe it, but
Why is this a thing?
is it on? Can you send me the link to it?
I can't send you the link. It's just a freaking picture.
Oh, okay. God dang it. Okay, hold on. Gamers should be accountable for war crimes. For war crimes. Yep. I was right. It is the Guardians. It's an old article. This was written like 6 going on 7 years. So let's read this. So keep in mind, this is 2013. This is like when Call of Duty was still considered like top of the popularity charts. All right. So wait, let me show people it. So it says here, don't shoot the civilians. This is something military games have been telling us for many years. I remember my first go on title's explosive arcade title, Operation Wolf. It was the late 80s, and this frenzied blasphema with its jungle environment and hostage rescue missions was clearly gunning for a generation of Rambo 2 fanatics. It even let you control the action with an Uzi-style submachine gun bolted to the cabinet. But what it wouldn't let you do was kill passing civilians. Collateral damage of this sort took a big chunk off your health bar. Okay. Of course, this is really more about mechanics than ethics. Players were being tested on their reactions and visual awareness, and failure meant a reduction in game time rather than a few moments reflection on innocent victims. These days, if you accidentally or otherwise shoot a civilian or a comrade in a military shooter, you'll probably get a mission failed message and a one way trick back to the last checkpoint. What you won't get is a military tribunal and a dishonorable discharge.
Okay.
So, I mean, so do you want to go, so do you want to try like mechanics in your shooters, Jack?
Like, why? It's just gonna waste time.
You want your characters to go to court trying to explain the results of your actions that led to that moment?
But sir, he ran into my bullets.
I asked him to hold the. I asked him if he can catch the bullet with his mouth. He said yes. Oh my god. Yep. Yep. I did. Oh man. Remember, I recall literature devil. He roasted this game. He roasted this article really good on his morning show. Still though, I wonder how old this person is, because literally, tribunals pay for your war crimes in a fictional game. Like, I get if people are like, kids shouldn't play violent games. Okay, fine, be better parents. But then asking, you should pay for the slight mistakes that you did in the game. You should be held accountable for them, as if you're a real military combatant. Ah, this world's crazy. But at the same time, would we want to have it any other way?
That's some weird stuff. This is a weird.
You found something else, Jack?
Oh, let's see what this is.
I don't think I can show this.
It's too hot for YouTube.
I have no idea what it is.
Oh, it was one of those.
It's just like it's just a channel. Check out his uploads. Nice. It's just a channel with a bunch of lewd stuff or like lewd situations
Okay, I see.
of anime, which
Uh,
kind of
that's that's a lot to go through. Yeah, I can see a channel dedicated to that. I can see that. They have
what's
what
this?
enough content for at least 10 years, maybe more.
People falling is funny. My favorite when your aunt is crazy and will
Probably should have read that sentence first before saying it out loud.
well I didn't finish it. That's the good thing. I mean, my ears. There we go.
Oh no, he's been controlled by the K-pop. Not the K-pop.
What? What?
If only I can react to what he's seeing.
Huh? Huh? What? What?
So,
I have many questions.
I see. So
But
that
I am
was just
skipping through on the head of it. I am skipping through a lot of it, so I have no idea at the same time. Maybe I'm skipping the most important parts.
Are you still on the Anime Loot channel or are you looking at something else?
I don't even know if it was loot.
Is it still anime?
It's anime.
Oh, it's anime, alright. But it's blurring the lines. It's blurring the lines, man.
I'm just now looking through my Twitter. Wow, that was uh, I think that's pretty much it. There's nothing interesting that popped up.
Oh, well. And actually, we're coming up with the 90-minute mark. This could be a short episode. And the best part is, though, for a good chunk of it, it gave me a nice retitle. Episode 37 shall officially be known as Jack and the Martians.
Yeah, it was a weird Jack and Jill went up the hill for.
I had nothing, so I was like, Evan, just to put that in. But now we got but now we got a better title that relates to what we're talking about, and you got to control of the show. So yay! I just got to sit back, see, and just listen. Oh, he saw something else. I could tell.
Yeah.
Oh, but here we
You
go.
might not understand it, but a lot of others will.
All right. Don't know whether I should be worried or excited for what's about to show me.
World War III starts.
Oh boy, here we go. Thought that we're done with those memes. I guess we gotta get one last one out.
One last one.
One last hurrah.
World War III starts. It's called Players 360. Fortnite. Start building. Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six, start putting up borders. Shoot through the walls.
And that's how the esports was with Rainbow Six, just having them flail back and forth like.
Oof.
Let's see, it went down to $1. Less than $1.
What's less than $1?
Crude oil.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I saw that news. And I saw that news. Oh yeah. C virus is kicking as a new one. But I think I th- I, but I think we could call it in. Want to call it in right now, Jack?
Yeah, let's call it in.
Yeah, this is. You know what this is? You know what this is? This is a filler episode.
What? I mean, we've been having filler I feel like it.
No, this one honestly feels like a filler episode. Oh well, they can't all be
I
good.
mean, we don't have the beach scene though, or the hot spring scene.
One day we'll have our beach episode.
One day we'll have a beach episode.
Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be streaming live from a beach, and boom, there's our beach episode. You never know. The future is unknowable.
The future is now.
The future is now. And now just like the future, we're gonna go ahead and close everything off. So, Jack, let us know what you have planned, anything for the channel until the next episode of the Hack Jack Show.
I think tomorrow I might try to finish up I keep saying try to finish up. It's just a lot longer than I expected. The Civilization game. It's been picking up to quite an extreme situation. I have currently nuked people more than what North Korea could ever do in their life.
Oh, speaking of North Korea, a little small news. Apparently, their leader is in grave danger.
What did he get?
No, it looks like that he had to get surgery for his heart. Yeah. That's what most people on Twitter feel about, like, oh, how bad. Oh. Any case, So you be streaming tomorrow. Anything else?
Uh, not right now. From
All right then. Now as for me, I will be uploading a video tomorrow, regarding the Sonic comics and some things I wanted to thoughts I wanted to share after reading the last few issues that came out, and of course Friday I will have my chill stream at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is the opportunity to come hang out and chat with me along with other people who may come on the show. And lastly, Sunday, Sunday, I will be doing another hack hangout with another professional comic artist and writer. And do not butcher his name because I'm always terrible with names. It will be with a Mr. Josh Howard, creator of Dead at 17 and T-Bird and Throttle. So I will of course be reminding and announcing that all throughout Twitter this coming week to get you guys prepared. And for Spider-Blood episode 3, from what I can, based on the last two episodes, I think it'll be. I'll try to make it as a bi-weekly show. There's no way I can finish one of those within the week, so don't expect a Spider episode this week. Next week, more than likely. So, with all that said and done, of course, for those of you watching the replay, if you enjoy this great filler episode, give a like, comment down, subscribe to the channel, and of course, ring the bell to be notified when we are live at any point, whether it's me or Jack or any videos that we upload. And of course, share it around, talk about us, give us that exposure. We got some nice ones yesterday. I want to keep up that trend. Let people know more about us. And yep, and that's pretty much it. So we'll say goodbyes, and this is Hack signing off.
bye, everyone.